Good afternoon, everyone. Today, I welcome all of you for the webinar by Dr. Nivedita Hebbar on nitty-gritty on ADHD. First, I would like to welcome our beloved principal, Dr. Satyanarayan B. Welcome, sir. And I welcome all the staff and students of Munyal Ayurveda Medical College. And it's my privilege to welcome our today's speaker, Dr. Nivedita Hebbar, who has been completed her UG at ALN Rao Memorial Medical College, Koppam, and PG at STM College, Udupi. She has presented many papers, scientific papers on national and international seminars, and she's very talented student and lecturer too right now. So she has been involved herself in many TV shows, speakers, and also in many public awareness programs too. So, my heartily welcome to Dr. Nivedita Hebbar. And once again, I welcome all for this webinar. This is a nitty-gritty on ADHD. It's a very important and very common disease in current scenario. So please be attentive on this. So I welcome ma'am. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Srivanitha ma'am. I am glad to be a part of this webinar series conducted by our institution. I welcome you all for my presentation. You might have wondered why this welcome slide is like this. It is in a very haphazard manner, right? We will discuss about this slide at the end of the session. Now I'll start with a quote from the Bhagavad Gita. Chanchalam hi manha Krishna pramati balavadridam tasyaham nigraham anye kayoriva vayoriva sudushkaram. Here, while during the Kurukshetra war, Arjuna asked or questions to the Lord Krishna, saying that he could not able to control his manas, and he again tells that Vayu we can control easily rather than controlling the mind. For this, again the Krishna gives answers like with the continuous abhyasa and vairagya we can control the mind. Today I am going to present one such disease where the chanchalata of the mind is so much which affects the social behavior as well as school impairment in a child. So I am dealing with the topic that is nitty-gritty on ADHD. I'll start with the case. I had a patient. A mother brings her 8-year-old son for evaluation after getting frequent complaints from the school for lack of concentration, not sitting in his place during class hours, and teasing and quarreling with the other students. He does not follow the words of either parents or teachers and neither successful in completing the homework. He talks excessively and irrelevantly and irritable all the time in home also. And this child is a victim of ADHD. Here you can observe a child who has multiple things in his mind. He involves himself in doing all the activities, but he was not successful in completing any of these activities. Now we'll see what is ADHD. That is attention deficit hyperactive disorder. It is a neurobehavioral disorder characterized by persistent hyperactivity, inattention, and impulsivity, which results in impairment in the social behavior as well as school performance. Moving on to the prevalence, this ADHD we can observe in both children as well as adults. More than 10 million cases yearly we are recording. Unfortunately, the male children are more affected than female kids. The ratio is 11 is to 5.5. And this incidence is increasing decades by decade. Previously, in olden eras, we have a joint family where the child will be nurtured by all the family members, but due to the stress as well as earnings from the parents, and they can't adjust with the joint family. Now nuclear families were formed, and here the child will be kept alone in a home where parents will go for a work, and this will become a main reason for all development of psychological disorder in child, and one such disease is a ADHD. Moving on to etiopathogenesis, there are certain theories they have put forth, like birth complications, like hypoxic ischemic encephalopathy, and maternal drugs, intake of certain maternal drugs, and maternal smoking and alcohol during pregnancy, and intake of food colorings and preservative, that is the food added with the preservatives. This may be one more reason for the increase in the incidence. Nowadays this is a fast food era, so many will get addicted to these fast foods, where commonly they are using the food colors as well as preservatives, and along with that psychosocial family stress. These are some of the causes for onset of ADHD. And next, moving on to the clinical features, we have to ask history of being asked to leave preschool for disruptive behavior. Many of the clinical cases what we get, this particular thing will be the common thing, where parents will tell, where the teachers could not able to control the child in a class, and for the same reason the child repeatedly get beaten by the teachers or get scoldings, and because of that the child will start that I'm not going to that particular school. And some cases are there, like even after changing the school also same complaints, repetition of the same complaints will be there, and being avoided by peers for play activities, family history, presence of family history, and the earliest recognized disability is in reading and arithmetic. Along with that, we are having three subtypes, that is inattentive, hyperactive, and impulsive, and the combined type. We'll see one by one. That is inattention. Uh, Here, careless with the details, and child will fails to sustain task, and it appears not to listen, and it does not finish the given task. Along with that, poor in organizing a task, and it avoids all the tasks which require the mental efforts, and it loses things oftenly, easily distractible by external stimulus, and forgetful in daily activities. And next is a hyperactivity. Under hyperactivity, following are the clinical features, that is fidgets with the hands or feet and swims in a seat, leaves seat when should be seated, runs about or climbs excessively and inappropriately, cannot play or engage in leisure activities quietly, always on the go or drive by a motor, and talks excessively. You might have observed some kids when either in a home or even when they approach the medical line of management, when they come to our OPDs, they could not able to sit in a place. Continuously they will be moving here and there. They want to see where we have kept the things. They want to roam all over the OPD and our hospital. They just looks like on the go. They'll be standing on a tip of a toe. On the next minute, they want to change that particular stance. Next is the impulsivity. Burst out the answer before question is completed, has difficulty in awaiting turns, interrupts or includes other conversation and games. These are the features has been designed by DSM criteria, Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. We have to evaluate the child with all these questionnaires, and out of 9, 6 should be present. And the presence of this behavior should be present at 2 settings for at least past 6 months, and presence of some symptoms of ADHD before the age of 7 years, and clear evidence of clinically significant impairment in academic or social functioning, or in both the things, both in academic and social functioning. Then is the assessment and diagnosis. We have to take a good clinical history, and a thorough developmental history should be asked. And there we get the following points, like toddlers may be unable to be seated, and preschool and school children may have hyperactive and naughty, and older children are more inattentive. And next are the complications. Around 18 to 35% of these kids will suffer from psychiatric disorders in a later life, and 15 to 20% of the children will suffer from learning disabilities. Understanding the adult ADHD. As I told in the beginning, ADHD is not only a disease which we get in a pediatric age group, even in adults also will get ADHD. Following are the few questions to be asked to diagnose the adult ADHD. Those are like, do they have difficulty concentrating or focusing their attention on one thing, and whether they often start with the multiple projects at the same time but rarely finishes them, and do they have trouble with organization, do they procrastinate on projects that take a lot of attention to deal, do they have problems remembering appointments or obligations, and do they have trouble staying seated during meeting or other activities, or they restless, and whether uh, often they lose or misplace things. These are a few points to be asked while taking a history to diagnose adult ADHD. Next is a treatment goal. As I told, here the child will be hyperactive, as well as inattentive and naughty. The problem before starting a treatment is convincing the parents. Just observe the fourth point, preschool and school children may be hyperactive and naughty, so that what parents think is the child is fine, and they think that my child is hyper, they don't think it as a problem. Rather than considering a problem, they feel proud. That is a major problem for a pediatrician, to convince the parents regarding the particular disease. There are certain limitations. Of course, hyperactive or naughtiness should be there in a kid, but it should not go beyond the margin. If it goes beyond the margin, then it should be considered as a disease. So properly you have to educate the parents regarding the what the child is suffering from. And next is the treatment goal. Here it is not a universal treatment. It is a child-specific individualized treatment program should be developed. Based on a kids, based on its problem, we have to plan a treatment, because some kids may be hyperactive, some kids may have inattention. So accordingly, it is a child-specific treatment plan should be adopted. And the goal of treatment is to maximize the function of improve the relationship and performance at school level, and decrease disruptive behavior, promote safety, increase independence, and improve self-esteem. With considering these goals, we have to plan a treatment. And the treatment options we are having is it is a multi-module treatment approach, where medications, behavioral therapy, psychotherapy, and education technique plays a important role. Moving on to medications, certain stimulants are there, like methylphenidate or dextroamphetamine, which will be commonly prescribed for ADHD kids. Though medications play an important role in reducing the symptoms of ADHD, but along with that, the other things, that is a behavioral therapy, psychotherapy plays an important role in changing the behavior of a child. Along with that, certain other drugs like tricyclic antidepressants and antipsychotic drugs are commonly prescribed in the allopathy system of medicine. With this brief description about the disease, now we'll move on to the case. The first I have described the complaints. The same patient of 8 years old boy, on examination, I have observed the following things. When he came for a first visit, he can't sit in a OPD, roaming all over the OPD and in a hospital corridor, easily getting anger while interrogation. If I ask something, he was very rude in answering, and he was never listening also. And he was becoming very restless when he was asked to sit quietly, started narrating his own stories while interrogating with the parents. He could not able to tolerate when the parents were speaking. He just takes our concentration, or he makes a diversion to see what he is doing. And abnormal movements of the extremities were noted. And according to Ayurveda, these are the things I consider, like Parisarana Majasram, Akasmat Hastapadanga Vikshepa, Satata Maniyatam cha Giramutsargaha Abhikshnam Hasati. These lakshanas have been explained in Vataja Unmada in Charaka Samhita Nidanasthana. He has explained all these things, and hence I diagnosed it as a case of Vataja Unmada. Next, the treatment given was on February 1st. He came for a first visit. After the diagnosis, these are the following medications given, that is tablet Munipregna, half BD, Brahmigrita, 10 ml BD with the milk, and Saraswatarishta with gold, 7.5 ml BD with equal quantity of water. And on a second follow-up, that is on 18/3/2017, the improvement observed were quality of sleep improved and hyperactivity reduced slightly. Hence, the same medications were asked to continue for 1 more month, and on April 22nd, they came for admission. Along with the other complaints, he had the complaint of itching all over the body since 10 days. That was there, and at that point, the improvement noted were the school performance slightly improved according to the teachers in the last exam. That is, in a final exam, he has performed slightly better when compared to the previous exam. This was told by the teachers, and irritability was slightly reduced. The same day, patient was admitted, and the following IPD treatment was started. That is Takradara. Takradara given around 9 a.m. in the morning, and in the afternoon at 3 p.m. Shiro Pichu was done with the Jatamamsi Churna, Amalaki Churna mixed with the Balataila. Along with that, Matra Basti with the Tiktaka Grita was given 20 ml afternoon after food. Tiktakagrita, it has a effect on both the skin as well as on a psychological problem. It is used in a psychosis also. Hence, for both the complaints, I have selected this particular Grita. Along with that, same internal medicines were continued. That is, the tablet Munipregna, the dose has been increased from half BD to 1 BD. Brahmigrita, 10 ml BD with the milk, and Saraswatarishta with gold, 7.5 ml BD with the water. On the first day, Takradara was done for only 10 minutes as he was not cooperative and he was very hyperactive. He could not able to sleep properly, and we could not able to continue the treatment for more than 10 minutes. Gradually, the time span of a procedure was increased by the third day onwards, since there is a slight reduction in the hyperactivity was noted. By fourth day onwards, he fell asleep during a procedure, and procedure can be continued for 45 minutes. By next outcome, by the end of 7 days admission was done, and by the end of 7 days, these are the improvement notice. Now, this quality of sleep improved, sound sleep during the night time, irritability and angriness reduced markedly, hyperactivity reduced, attention span increased, and ability of the patient listening has been enhanced, and discharge after 7 days. And during this 7 days course on IPD rounds, counseling has been done for around 15 to 20 minutes. In these cases, along with the internal medicines and the other treatment, counseling also plays an important role. And the patient was discharged after 7 days and asked to continue the same internal medicines for 1 month. And along with the same internal medicines, Kshirabala Thaila was prescribed for doing Shiro Pichu at night time. And on June 6th, he came for a further follow-up. At that point, marked improvement observed by the parents in the following parameters, that is attention span increased, angriness reduced, no irritability, and he started to concentrate on studies and tries to finish the homework given during the summer holidays, but take too much of time to write one page. Along with that, hyperactivity, excessive talking and doing mischievous things still persists. These are the improvements noted by the parents. Until October, the patient came for a monthly follow-up with a slight improvement in all parameters. And again in October holidays, he came for a second time admission. And second admission was done with the following procedure. I didn't change IPD treatment also. Same thing has been advised, that is Takradhara, Shiropichu, Matra Basti. And after the second admission, hyperactivity markedly reduced. And same internal medicines continued till February 2018, and later on only Brahmi Krita advised daily once with the milk. As parents were happy as they are not getting any complaints from the school, and improvement was noted in his school performance also, and they noticed behavioral change in him. This is regarding the first case. Now we'll move on to the second case. Here it is a diagnosed case of ADHD, and he was under the modern medication. And the complaints were he was not listening and giving back answer to the parents, hates to go to the school. Since 2 years he is not going to school. When the parents asked to go to the school, he refuses like anything. He keeps mum and he starts all other things, and further parents has to compromise with the child's demand, and he has not sent to school since 2 years. He can't sit in one place, fidgets the hands, stealing the money in home, laughing continuously for no reasons, and can't play with the siblings for about 5 to 10 minutes. Following that, he came to me on this year, that is January 25th. Following the medicines prescribed, that is Medyavati 1 BD. Along with that, I gave Kalyanaka Grita 10 ml BD with the milk. And on 22nd February, came for a follow-up with the following observation, that is the repeated hand movements and laughing reduced. He can sit and watch the cartoon channels for 20 to 30 minutes, which was not there previously. He could not able to watch TV also. That is, that much of hyperactivity was there. Now at least what he loves to watch the cartoon channels that he can see. So at that point, I prescribed along with the above medicine, BVC, that is Brihatvata Chintamani Rasa with gold, 1 OD early morning with honey was added. and due to the COVID crisis, he could not came for a further follow-up, but he was done with a phone consultation as the parents were happy with the improvement, and now same they were continuing with the Kalyanaka Grita. He may come for next follow-up maybe by next week. Moving on to the discussion, as we won't get a specific disease in our class 6 with hyperactivity, impulsivity and inattention, based on a condition we can consider like this. There will be a Prakupita Vata dosha, mainly Prana, Udana and Vyana Vata, which affects the Mano Artha and Mano Karma, in turn leads to ADHD. Along with that, there will be a Chesta Vibrama as well as Smruti Vibrama, Sheila Vibrama, which has been explained in the Unmada Chikitsa. So based on a condition, even we can consider it as a Vataja Unmada. There will be a vitiation of Dhi, Dhriti and Smriti, which causes abnormality and abnormal conduct, resulting into improper contact of the sense with their objectives and give rise to inattention, hyperactivity and impulsivity. To sum up, ADHD can be compared with Vataja Unmada, Prakupita Vata dosha or Vyanavrita Pranavata. The foremost line of treatment includes the Vatahara Chikitsa along with the administration of Medhya Rasayana. Now we'll see the first slide. Initially, before starting my presentation, I told no, we'll discuss about the first slide at the last. See, to be specific, the main motto of a treatment is to make a ADHD child who writes in a very haphazard manner, or his thinking will be in a very haphazard manner, which has to be corrected or which has to be organized like the letters how I write in a thank you slide. This will remain a main line of treatment. You can observe no welcome, which was written in a very haphazard manner, that should be corrected to a neatly organized manner. This depicts the cognition level of a child. This remains the main line of treatment. By this, I am concluding the session. Before that, I am very thankful to the management, organizing team and principal for giving me this opportunity, and also I thank all the delegates for active participation. Thank you one and all.
Thank you, Dr. Nivedita Hebbar. Yeah, it's a very informative seminar about this ADHD, and if you have any questions, you can ask now. Okay, before that, I would like to ask you one question, ma'am. Can you tell me the difference between this autism and ADHD?
Spectrum disorders, the main thing is the child will be having repeated stereotype movements, whereas in case of ADHD, there will be a hyperactivity, impulsivity and inattention. Apart that stereotyped activity is a main differentiating factor we have to do in case of autism and ADHD. Apart from that, the other things like difficulty in communication, lack of eye-to-eye contact will be there in both the condition.
Thank you very much. Ma'am, can you tell me about that behavioral changes in parents as well kid regarding that little bit?
Yes, behavioral therapy also plays an important role like medications. Here we have to treat both parents as well as a child. It is not like only we are giving treatment for a child. We have to ask the parents also how to deal with such kids. Just like giving them some simple task which needs around 5 to 10 minutes of attention span so that they can able to finish that. Once they finish such activities, they should be awarded with some gifts, or we have to appraise them. uh, this is just an example. On a daily routine activities like self-dressing to finishing their homeworks, small things we have to observe, and that should be praised them. We have to praise the kids so that on the next day also they have to continue the same thing. Along with that, when they do some destructive activity, the parent the child. The parents should not give concentration or attention towards such things, so that the child himself will stop such activities, and child should be taught with the moral stories and other things. So we have to teach the parents also. The, all the family members should support the kid to overcome this disease.
Thank you so much, madam, regarding answers and this beautiful seminar. And I would like to thank everyone who participated in this seminar, as well as I would like to thank the management and all the staff and students of Bunyal Ayurveda Medical College. Thank you, one and all.